Hi guys, my name is Megan and today I've got some of my favorite urban fantasy books to share with you. Alright, so today we're talking all about urban fantasy books because urban fantasy is one of my favorite genres to read from, so let's just go ahead and see what's on my current favorite list. Alright, so first up we have the Fangs manga. This is the first volume and I'm really excited for whenever the second one comes out. I really enjoyed that this deals with vampires in a way that not a lot of other books do. So this one features In, who is the only survivor of a vampire attack, and he's newly turned into a vampire. It also follows Ichi, who is a vampire that works for the vampire health and welfare organization called Fangs. And Ichi is basically his mentor and partner in him figuring out how vampirism works for him. And I also really loved that this takes a different look at vampires. It gives them, the organization in this is a health and welfare organization. So Ichi takes care of other vampires. He makes sure they're taking care of their mental health. He makes sure they're getting the right nutrition they need, making sure that they have people to talk to and friends, and they're not just letting themselves go and not letting themselves go feral. And it's also about Ichi and En trying to figure out what happened to En and who attacked him. And I really love this, and it's just so cute, and like, the characters themselves are funny and like just so good. Also, this is an explicit manga, so please note that it is for those 18 and over. So next up in my favorites is White Trash Warlock. So this is the first book in the Adam Binder series, and this one is not your typical urban fantasy. So Adam has been in a mental institution for a while because he has a sight so he can see things that aren't necessarily there. And he does have some limited magical powers. And so his family put him in a mental institution, and this is set after that. So Adam is dealing with PTSD from that. He's dealing with depression and anxiety from being there, but he's also on this kind of crusade to find this magical person that is just kind of destroying things and causing chaos. And, you know, one day out of the blue, he gets a call from his brother Bobby that Bobby's wife has been possessed by a demon or an entity. And from there, it just follows Adam and Bobby and his family as they try to figure out what's going on. And it's such a roller coaster of emotions. Like, this one will rip your heart apart if you're not careful. Okay, so next up is The House in the Cerulean Sea, which is also not a typical urban fantasy book. This follows Linus Baker, who is a by-the-book caseworker for the department in charge of magical youth, and he lives by himself with a cat in a very crappy little house, and, you know, his quiet life is about to change. One day, Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a very curious case, and a very highly classified case to check into. And when Linus arrives at the orphanage for these children that he's supposed to check on, he finds that they are not exactly what the company case files seem to think. I love this book to pieces. This one actually did make me cry. I do have a list of books that would be really great to read after this. If you'd like to watch that video, I will link it up in the corner. But Cerulean Sea is just one of those books that will stay with you forever because it's so emotional, but also so cozy, and you will fall in love with these children and with Arthur and Linus. Okay, so next up is Scapecracers. This one follows Sideways Pike, who is kind of a loner. She is a witch and a lesbian and just kind of like a lifelong outsider. She will perform magic tricks for soda, and one day out of the blue, the most popular girls in the school hire her to perform a magic trick at their pre-Halloween party, and it kind of just goes a little bit off. But then all of a sudden Sideways has these new friends. Like, she literally gets swept up into this girl gang of like slightly unhinged girls that are just amazing. I love them, but they are really like unhinged. And together they start learning magic and they form a coven. From there, it's kind of like weird things start happening. And I'm here for it, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the next book. It was supposed to be out sometime last year, but I think it got delayed again. But I'm really looking forward to it. So this one is one that I would highly recommend you read. I think I have a full review for it. If I do, I will leave it linked up in the corner. All right, and then the last book that is on my current favorite urban fantasy list is Girls' Weekend, also Morning Glory Milking Barn, because that's kind of attached to this one too. But I really enjoyed this one because this series is like magical creatures set in an urban setting. It's like a D&D game, but put in an urban setting with some amazing romance. So this one in particular follows 3 elves who go on a weekend vacation to an orc nudist resort. I really, really loved this book because it's not only is it funny, but you also get to see magical creatures that you don't normally see in regular urban fantasy books. So we have elves and orcs and minotaurs and so many other magical creatures in this setting, and it's fantastic. Also, it's very steamy. Not gonna lie, it's very, very steamy. And it's one that I would highly recommend if you're into like paranormal romance, urban fantasy romance, but it's also very cozy and like the world building is incredible. All right, so those are some of my current favorite urban fantasy reads. Do you guys have any current favorite urban fantasy books? Let me know down below. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't already but would like to, go and hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to follow me on social media for more bookish stuff, check out the links down below. Alrighty, bye guys.